what could non-arts brands and other businesses learn from what you guys have been doing?
I think that sense of experimentation. I mean, we're an institution that's been around for 200, 300 years. We're one of the the largest arts organisations, not just in the UK, but the world. And I think an ethos of experimentation and lack of fear with pushing how you reflect that organisation. So in terms of tone of voice, just experimenting with that, and content types as well that maybe you might feel slightly uncomfortable initially about moving into for whatever reason, just experimenting and just seeing what works.
Now, you mentioned tone of voice, which is really interesting. How easy was it to set your tone of voice? Because people might think that you have a fairly narrow demographic when it comes to the audience. Did that make it easier, or was it still quite a challenge?
I think it was a challenge initially, but something that we worked on really hard to do is give a sense of personality behind the institution. So we have initials on every tweet, for example, and authorship around each piece of content. So I think you can, if you have that sense of authorship around a piece of content, you can push slightly harder and see what works, because you have that kind of a little bit of you can, because it's a personal thing as well as an organisational thing.
And finally, can you think of some other arts brands that are doing some great work in editorial and social?
Yeah. I think in the US, San Francisco Ballet, we've worked with them quite a bit, and they do some really fantastic video content. They're really good on Instagram as well. They really have nailed that, the sense of they really know what works in terms of visual content. And in the UK, I would say that I think the Barbican are doing some really interesting stuff, particularly on the kind of the data and customization side. I think that they really get the CRM strategy, and I think they're doing some really good work on that.
Thanks very much for your time.